So nice to be here with you for our Friday night yin practice. We're going to start in a toe-tucked child's pose. So if you have sensitive soles of the feet especially, or if you walk around ever, this is going to be a good one to stretch out the base of the feet and all the connective tissue that laces its way through the body. So you might want a pillow, maybe a pillow or two, so grab them if you don't have one already. And then you tuck your toes under, take your knees as wide as is comfortable, and then you can lay forward onto the pillow. Now, for some of us, this is going to feel really intense straight off the bat, especially if you're like the kind of person that wears heels or runs a lot or something like that. So if that's you, and if it feels too much, you can always release the tops of the feet down to the ground at any point and come into a traditional style child's pose. But basically, we're starting to work our way through the connective tissue in the body, which wraps its way all the way around your muscles, around your bones, around your joints. And it creates this interweaving web that connects your whole body. So as we stretch and hydrate through the different parts of this line, it should make the whole body feel better overall. But while you're there, there might be a sense of tension. So at any point, whether you feel tension physically or mentally in the practice, there's an invitation here to let go, to release, to just be here in the moment. We have really amazing brains, and the mind thinks that its job is to figure things out because most of the time that's what we need it for. And the analytical mind is super powerful after years of relying on this kind of, it's like a detective figuring out, putting all the things together and creating a story about what has happened. But in this practice especially, and a lot of times in life, what you actually are benefiting most from is just letting go. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to put all the pieces together. You don't have to discover the answers to the universe or to your own personal queries. Instead, see what it's like to just relax, to just see what it's like to be in this moment. And as you give yourself permission to relax physically, notice the sensations. And as you give yourself permission to relax your mind, notice that experience. So that's how we'll move through our practice together tonight. If you've got one cheek down in your child's pose, you might want to switch which cheek is on the pillow to balance out through the neck. And start to explore this idea of how to let go, how to just be here without trying to figure everything out. Most often, taking a few deep breaths and really paying attention to the breath and the physical sensations in the body can really reset a busy analytical mind and offer a sense of presence. So here, take a slow, deep breath in and notice how it fills up the whole torso. And then as you exhale, soften everything, letting go a little bit more. Do two more like that. Spacious inhales, like feel the way the breath feels. And long releasing exhales, letting go and softening into the pose. One more like that. Inhale deep. And exhale, release. Now stay here just a few more breaths. And see if you can just observe. What does it feel like to let go and let things be as they are? Without trying to figure it out or make anything happen. What is the experience of just being here and letting go? Take just one or two more really slow, purposeful breaths, feeling the inhale, softening into the exhale. And then as you're ready, gently push out of the shape into a hands and knees position and do anything there that feels good. If your toes were tucked, you might tap the tops of the feet or swirl the ankles. Just move around a little in a way that feels good. Get some movement back where you need it. Maybe even sit back onto your heels and stretch around through the shoulders a little bit. Anything at all that your body's craving. Move from that sense of feeling. You know, what's pretty interesting is that we rely on our analytical mind a lot, but our analytical mind only knows what's happened before, and it fills in all those gaps in the story based on what we think, based on previous experience. But there's this whole other part of the brain responsible for just being here in this present moment. And so when you pause to just be here, to feel what's happening now, there's a whole other part of you that can sense and feel and move intuitively. So let that guide you through your practice. As you're ready, keep your props handy and start to send your knees back a little so you can lay flat onto your belly with as little effort as possible. There's a few options for this next one. We're stretching out across the front of the hips here in Sphinx, Seal, or Sleeping Snake. So in Sphinx pose, you put your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. I like to put a block, you might put a book or a pillow underneath your face, just because it keeps the nice curve in your back. And then you can chill there. The elbows resting should let the bones support you. If you're up for a bit of a supported position that's similar, you put a pillow or two, maybe a block or a book underneath the pillow, and then you let this kind of little pillow fort support the upper body so you can kind of just chill and lay down. And if Seal pose is your jam, you'll straighten your arms, and I'll give you an indication when we've got like a minute or so left that you might want to take that deeper variation. Wherever you are, think about finding that little bit of softness. And if it's not feeling like really anything at all yet, you might bend one or both knees to start to pull the skin, the tissue across the front of the hips. But the thing with yin is that we're trying to do less. We're trying to relax more. So if it's not relaxing for you to have the knees bent, no worries. Just let them go back down, feet relax onto the floor. Oftentimes, the analytical mind tells us, based on our experience, we have to be doing more, figuring it out, making things happen. But there's something really lovely about embracing the alternative. See what it's like to not have to push or force here, but rather just to soften and relax into this moment, into this shape as it is. It's almost like the analytical mind doesn't want to believe that something good will happen from doing nothing. Like maybe, but what if I just do a little bit of this? Maybe it'll be better. And in this yin practice especially, the body shows us how rewarding it is to do less. And you actually get deeper. So here, if you were to tense, like squeeze your butt, squeeze your thighs, push your hips down to try to get that stretch, you'd just be stretching through the muscles, which is cool, which is great. But as you relax your hips, soften your glutes, and let go into this shape with less effort, over time in this nice long hold, instead of just pulling at the muscles, that deeper interwoven connective tissue, the support system and flexibility and mobility for the whole body starts to repattern and rehydrate. So by doing less, you actually get deeper. If you have one cheek turned, go ahead and swap. If you have the knees bent or not, you want to switch it, feel free. But see if you can do a little less here, not pushing or forcing. Just sinking into gravity. If you wanted to take seal pose, you could bring the hands a little wider and start to straighten through the arms. Be really thoughtful about how it feels on the lower back. If it's too much, take it easy, bring the elbows back down. And if you're going into that variation, see how it feels on the lower back when you relax the butt, relax the thighs, sink heavy in the pelvis. Be really thoughtful not to overly compress the lumbar spine, the lower back. And wherever you are, see if you can bring some slow, fluid breaths in, that chance to catch a bit of presence, and to let go of overthinking, to just be here in this moment, this breath. Take just maybe 1 or 2 more breaths here. If your arms are straight, please bend your elbows. If your knees are bent, please lengthen your legs, and then just start to gently lift up to remove your props. You might stay laying on your belly, but take any movement that feels good, a little wriggle or stretch of some description. A lot of times it feels nice to wiggle through the hips to release the lower back after that one. And then when you can, just find a little pocket of stillness. You could lay on your front, palms under the forehead. If you prefer child's pose or shavasana, knock yourself out. And then just let yourself be in a little bit of stillness when you're ready. Can you allow yourself to enjoy the pleasure of doing nothing here? No special pose, no special breathing technique. Just step back and let yourself soften. Nothing to figure out. Just feel and breathe. Watch one more breath travel in and out. And if you're not already, come back down into your belly for a little shoulder roll. If you know it, go for it, right arm first or whichever one you like. We'll do the second one next. If you haven't done it before, have a little look at your screen. So you'll be laying flat on your belly, but I'm up just so you can see. Right arm extends directly to the right in line with the right shoulder. Like really make sure your elbow's up in line. You can bend or straighten, you choose. Right cheek down on the mat. As you push your left hand under your left shoulder, roll your left hip and shoulder up. So your right hand's extending behind you perpendicular, not down here by the body, but out and away towards the space behind you. And then you can stack your knees or step your left foot behind. Just do whatever feels appropriate there to find a little space across the front to the right side of the chest. I'm going to leave you in a bit of silence here. See if you can relax any need to push or force or go deeper or be different. See if you can embrace just being here. Softly following the breath, feeling the body, and that's enough. Just stay and feel and breathe. Just one more breath. As you gently come out of the shape, take whatever kind of movement you need. You might lie flat on your belly, or wiggle around a little at the right arm, get some space and ease after holding that shape. Just another breath or two to rebound. And then set up for the second side. As you're ready, left arm extends to the left. Right hand presses under the right shoulder to roll you open. And then you choose, if it's comfortable for you, you can just bring the knees together and slide them up towards your chest. That's a little bit more supportive. You know what I find interesting about this yin practice is that it's sometimes unfamiliar for us as Westerners who are used to like doing more to achieve more, that you could get something out of doing less. But for a moment, do this little experiment, like push into the floor with all of your muscles, like legs push, arms push, get some action going, and then feel yourself do nothing, like relax into it, let go of all of that pushing. And oftentimes I find that if I'm not paying attention, if I'm not being mindful and present in my practice, I'll do that. Like I'll push and try to get into a stretch and try to make something happen. And there's something so warm and welcoming about that feeling when you just stop and let go. So the experience gets better. Instead of feeling tense and push and force, that energy of that, the push. And then you just relax and feel that energy. So when you notice that you're pushing or forcing or trying to make it happen, can you come back to just deep breaths? Each exhale reminding your body to soften. Doing less to find more ease. Just a few more breaths, so really soften into it. Let go and just be here as you are. One more breath now. And then gently, thoughtfully come out of it. Do any kind of moving, stretching, opening that you need. And then just find a moment to rest. Shavasana, child's pose on your belly. Somewhere that feels really restful. And embrace this quality of ease that you've been cultivating. Just be there. Breathe and soften. Enjoy one more long breath. Stay for the whole exhale to relax. And then start to bring a little movement back, some deeper breaths, to make your way up and over to a hands and knees position and then to a seat. Grab a prop like a pillow. Definitely a pillow, not like a block or a book. Now take the pillow back behind you and turn your right hip to the pillow. So you're turning to face the side. Bring your right shin to the right edge of your mat. So you got like a little V shape at the knee. And you choose about the left leg. Maybe left ankle is towards the right knee, like a little zigzag with the legs. Or maybe it feels better to reposition it a little somewhere else. Two options with our deer pose. Either you're going to lay straight down to the pillow towards the right shoulder lands, right cheek lands. Or if you want to deepen into like a twisted position, you turn your torso, like your chest, to face down towards the pillow. And then maybe one cheek or the other, doesn't matter which. Whatever feels best for you lands on the pillow. You choose where your arms go, and if you need to rearrange the legs a little to feel better, cool. And then just settle in. You know, oftentimes I feel like I've kind of got to convince myself to relax. Like, I like relaxing, I think it's good, but maybe like in this yin class, if I go a little deeper, I'll get a better stretch and then that'll release more tension. So I should try harder to relax. Oh, human brain is so funny. But when I think about it, and I think, okay, if I push a little bit more, it's not very relaxing. And if I'm constantly striving to try to find more and more and more, then I never get a chance to just be where I am. So see if here you can not try to get deeper, not try to make something happen, not try to figure out where it should be stretching or if you're doing it right or what to have for dinner or whether to call that person back or all that kind of stuff that bounces that around in the head for processing. See if you can just be right here. Taking this breath, feeling it, and softening in. Give yourself this little dose of motivation to relax, knowing that if you give yourself just a few minutes to be here, not to figure it out, not to make it happen, but just to relax into being here, the whole experience gets nicer. That instead of being under pressure and force and stress all the time, you can spend a moment in a pocket of ease and relaxation to nurture and rejuvenate. You still got just over a minute to go, so soak it in. Make it juicy and delicious as you just relax. The longest, slowest breath you have all day. And then deepen the breath to return to movement, nice and slowly exiting your shape very thoughtfully. I'm just going to transition to the other side and then we'll rebound for balance. So you might just rock over onto your left hip, either lean straight down to your left or twist. So the left hip comes to your pillow, left shin to the side of the mat. Right knee finds its positioning that feels right. And as you lay down onto your left ribs or onto your chest, choose a position that suits you. Sometimes my effort at relaxation looks like wine and Netflix. I think it's a condition of quarantine that at some point you have to drink too much wine while sitting on the couch. But it's not quite as meaningful and it doesn't feel quite as good of a relaxation as a really deliberate and purposeful relaxation in a yin practice. A lot of times what we're actually doing is just distracting ourselves from that busyness and adding more busyness or kind of trying to numb out. But here, you're present. You're really here. And there's a certain quality to this active stillness, to this conscious relaxation that's incredibly beneficial to the body and mind. So keep finding your way to a conscious breath, to a deliberate softening of the body. Absorb these very potent moments of relaxation. Absorb it into the body and into the mind as you continue to just keep coming back to your breath and softening into the shape for just a minute or two here. Take a really deep breath in. Soften into a really slow exhale breath. And then as you gently lift up out of your shape, do whatever you need to do. Stretch, move. Ooh, let go of whatever was held, intense. And find a spot to rebound. You might just lay down on your back, child's pose, shavasana, anything you like. And just take a few moments to chill out there. To soften and relax. As you're ready, take a few slow, deep breaths. And really gently make your way back up to a seat one more time for our final seated position, forward recline. This one's called caterpillar pose, also known as seated forward fold. You might need a couple props, like a little block to sit on and a pillow to lean forward over. So get whatever kind of props you need. I recommend sitting up on a block or a book of some description if you feel like you've got a really tight lower back or your hips feel a bit sticky. Just gives the hips a little bit of space to tilt forward. And like a little pop your booty out sensation. Then you might put a pillow on its highest setting, like kind of hug it and bow forward over it some way or another. Or if you've got heaps of space, you can bow forward really far. Just take it to your degree of what feels appropriate in your body without getting that really pull stretch sensation. Like I said, we want to get a little bit more softness, a little bit more letting go, which translates to a little bit more opening through the connective tissue. So as you bow forward into your version of caterpillar pose, see if you can soften rather than push. Maybe even turn your palms up if you're not holding on to something, to just insinuate to yourself that it's time to relax, time to let go. Since we'll be here for a few minutes in this shape, see if you can do a little experiment. Without pushing or forcing or trying to make it happen, see if the experience changes, either physically or, the feeling of being here, when you give yourself permission to relax little by little, more and more with each breath. Like you might imagine scanning through the body and relaxing each part as the breath empties, like an inhale to relax your whole face. Exhale, softening all the muscles, forehead, eyes, lips, cheeks. And then working your way down your body, shoulders, arms, torso, legs. And see what shift you can make by inviting relaxation rather than pushing or forcing into depth. Keep inviting ease. For your last few breaths, just make note how it feels to keep relaxing and how you're able to shift your experience by inviting softness rather than pushing for relaxation. Just keep inviting that gentleness to move through, sinking in and letting go. Two more slow, deep breaths. After your second exhale, use an inhale to slowly, slowly make your way back up. Ooh, nice long hold on that one. Do whatever you need to do, move, stretch, wriggle, rearrange. And then take your props with you as you head down onto your back, but keep moving for as long as you need to move. And eventually make your way down onto your back. And we'll rebound there for a few breaths. After a deep forward fold, it doesn't usually feel that good in my lower back, especially to lay flat. So if you're the same, you might bend your knees, knock them together. So there's no effort. You don't have to lay completely flat just yet. If it feels good for you, of course, go ahead. Or any other reclined position. And then just settle into a few long, deep breaths. Ages ago, a friend, a yoga student who's now a teacher, said to me, I don't understand why yoga teachers say, okay, now just relax. Because if I knew how to relax, I would, and maybe I wouldn't need to go to yoga. And it really stuck with me because I feel like in the culture of doing things, like do this and do this and do this and get it done, it's hard to do relaxation without trying to force it. And relaxation comes through harmony and ease and softness, not through force or pressure. So see if you can embody that softness and relaxation here. It's almost like you do less and then you relax. Or you just focus on your breath and this moment and relaxation happens naturally. So take a few slow breaths, paying attention to the inhale and exhale. And invite in that embodied relaxation that comes when the mind starts to quiet down, the body starts to relax, because you're just paying attention to your breath and letting it give you softness. All right, beautiful yogis. Let's take a twist on the back. So as you're there, go ahead and bend your knees if they're not already. Knees go to the left side first. Arms are whatever feels best for you. Allowing your knees to drop over to the left, but if they don't land easily, you can slide a little pillow or a book underneath the side. And if your right shoulder feels like it's kind of hanging out in space, see if maybe you can shift your rib cage a little to the left, like spin open a little bit more, or you could even support your shoulder with a prop. But no worries if it's hanging out in space and it feels okay, leave it. Find your twist and see if once again you can invite in that softening. Rather than try to twist or try to relax, can you simply follow the breath and invite in ease? Permission to not have to figure anything out. Permission to not have to make anything happen. Breathe and feel and stay. 2 or 3 more long breaths, consciously relaxing as you notice your breath traveling out. And then as you're ready, gently transition back through center, rearrange any props, and we'll head into the second side before we rebound. So go ahead and just twist over, knees to the right, supported by props if you need. Arms can stay wider. Go any little adjustments that you need there to feel your best. You might even visualize softening areas that feel tense, or visualizing the breath opening up space there. Like if you've got any tension across the chest, you can imagine as the breath floods the lungs, it widens out that space and creates like an opening sensation. And then as you exhale, let gravity soften that space. You might feel it around the ribs or the lower back. And in the same way, as you inflate your lungs, puff the breath down into those spaces, letting it stretch out along the muscles. And then as you exhale, imagine all of that space softening and relaxing. So rather than your mind going on a tangent, filling in the gaps like a detective on the lookout, use your mind to your advantage. Use it to offer yourself a conscious relaxation. A deliberate choice to keep paying attention to your breath and keep inviting a softening through the physical body that will be mimicked as a softening in the mind. Focus on your breath. Soften your body. One more breath. And then gently unwind your twist. Take any movement that feels appropriate to stretch out, and then find a little softness somewhere. Relax the shoulders. Extend the legs long. If you need any final movements before your final resting pose, now is your moment. If you still wanted like a bridge pose, supported bridge pose of some description, or some other pose like an inversion, of course you can take your time and make this practice your own so you feel like you get what you need from it. But if you're ready to rest, you might even throw a blanket over the body, shut down the eyes, and start to invite a deep sense of relaxation. Now, after spending almost an hour focusing on the breath, feeling the body, and moving towards that embodied state of ease, just let it sink in. You've already done all the things that you need to do to create an atmosphere for relaxation. To make a conscious decision, that intention, to now just be in that state of relaxation, to let it happen naturally. And especially here, nothing to do, nothing to figure out, nothing to make happen. Let go of your mind, your breath, your body, trying to make something happen in any of it. And just drift into that sense of ease. We'll stay for about 3 or 4 minutes in Shavasana, so not long. Allow yourself to stay. And drift into that sense of ease. Let the body feel heavy now, and rest. If you have longer to stay and rest, please feel free. But wherever you are, before you come out and start moving back into your day, take just one more moment here to absorb this easy state of relaxation that you created. While you used your physical body and your mind to move towards this state, it's an internal sense of connection, an inner peace that starts to come forward when we soften the body, focus the mind. So give yourself credit for this state of relaxation, even if it's just subtle, that you created. And absorb it fully as you start to take some deeper breaths. Like you could radiate that sense of ease and nourishment through the body. Each exhale releasing any remaining tension. And then start to move little by little in whatever way feels most organic for you. Eventually it might feel nice to rock the chin side to side, to reach the arms overhead, really anything that feels appropriate. And absolutely no rush, but when you feel ready, hug the knees, give them a little squeeze, and take one more moment before we come up for gratitude. Like, it's pretty amazing that you carved an hour out of your day, or however long you were able to do, to start to tune in and invite in relaxation. With all of the busyness of the mind and movement of the body, it's such a gift that you give yourself when you balance it out with a little bit of yin. So take a moment to appreciate yourself for the time that you took, for your incredible body, for your amazing mind that's always trying to help you out and detective your whole life. And for that part of you that's really wise and calm and still beneath all of it. Take a moment to appreciate everything that makes you exactly who you are in this moment. One more big breath. And make your way up to a seat. You could roll to a side or rock and roll up the spine. And as you find a seat, tall spine, proud chest, hands come to heart in prayer. Anjali Mudra, hands to prayer, is a mudra that acknowledges that space within each of us that is the same. So as we place our hands here, we say virtually to each other, sending that energy outwards, namaste. Thanks, yogis. Have a beautiful Friday night and a wonderful weekend. Stay warm, stay cool, and come back and see me every Friday night at 5, or you can replay all of these videos. Nikki's Monday Night Vinyasas every week, level 2, and my Friday Night Yin now every week. There's already, I think, 9 or 10 weeks worth of classes free on the YouTube for you to replay anytime. And if you want more, you can join us on Patreon for our full schedule. Have a great day, yogis. Namaste.